What's up guys? Today we are installing furring strips in our camper van. We decided this is the best way to frame our van. There's many different ways to frame a van, but this is the way we're doing it. Mostly because we don't want to drill into the metal. So we're going to be using Rivnuts and utilizing every hole we can. We got our 1/2-inch plywood from Lowe's and we painted over it with Kills 2. And sorry if it's super loud, we got a power washer running. And we painted over all of this to seal it from moisture. And I don't think this is a required step, but we just want to be super safe. I'm gonna leave markers throughout the video so you can go to wherever you need to be. Everything is linked in the description below if you want to get like the Kills or whatever tools we're using. All right, so let's get into the tools and products required to install these into your van. All right, so we have all of our 1/2-inch furring strips. So we ripped all of these on the table saw. We got these all 3 inches wide and we coated them with Kills 2. You're gonna need a tape measure, obviously. Yeah, so these are still not yet cut to size, but we will do that soon. We also bought, in conjunction to that, some hex M8 Rivnuts. So these will fit perfectly into those hex holes in your van. And we got a whole bunch of those. And we got a bunch of M8 bolts. So these will go in there nicely. And over here we have our impact and drill, which are for most processes with this van build. We have our drill bits, and I also don't have them right now, but other bits for the impact to fasten these down. And then we have a countersink drive, so we will put this in the drill. Everything is flush on the wood. I'll show you a video right now of what it looks like. But all right, so for the M5 Rivnuts, we are using M5 bolts. So these are flanged and they are 1.25 inches long, and it will go in to all of the M5 Rivnuts that we placed around the van. And for all these pocket hole screws, we are going to be using 3/4 inch Kreg pocket hole screws, and these are 19mm. So these are going to go in all of those and all of our vertical strips. That is all you're going to need for this process, and obviously paint tools too. But another very important thing to have would be wood cutting tools. Table saw right here, other stuff over there like the drill press, which we're probably going to use for this process. Over here we have our Rivetnut Tool. Oh my god, she's so beautiful. You can't find this thing anywhere in stores. All right, so let's move on to step 1. All right, so we actually ended up using a different Rivnut tool. We opted for the Astro 1450. I've seen van lifers use these as well, just like Lauren Lawless. Shout out to her, actually. She's the one who kind of basing our framing off of. But yeah, let me show you how this tool works. So it comes in this little case. So here it is. Here's the tool itself. Comes with a bunch of different sizes. The only ones we're probably going to be using are M5s and M8s. So open it up. This little guy comes with this. It also comes with a little hex. Shoot. It's starting to get dark out here, but the way you use this tool is you're going to take one of the pieces that you need. I think this is the M8. You're going to screw. Something I've seen other people not tell you about using this specific tool. There's a little piece in here, and you want to use your finger to lower it. Do this because if you don't, I'll show you what happens if you don't pull it down. You're gonna probably end up tightening it on here, putting this on, and then you're gonna tighten this piece, and you're gonna open it, and it's not gonna engage. Right now it's not letting me go higher, and if I go higher I'm probably gonna break the tool. So what you're gonna wanna do is take this piece off, unscrew it if you can, and then you're gonna take your thumb and pull it down, and then you're gonna just tighten it like normal. Go all the way down till you can't. Boom, let go, put this piece on. You don't gotta do it super tight, but now you can open the arms. So now how to use this tool. You're going to apply your Rivnut on here. I'm just gonna demonstrate how to do it without it for now. You're going to open the tool. You're not gonna wanna fully engage it. It's harder to get it and you might mess up. So once it's fully open, lower it just a little bit, just to like right about here. Screw your Rivnut on, and then you're gonna stick it in one of the holes. You're gonna push down. First you're gonna wanna reopen it, tighten it up a little bit, and then you're gonna give it another good one. Don't overdo it because you will mess up the Rivnut. You will either get it to spin or you're gonna just damage it and it's not gonna work properly. So after that, you're gonna do it until it's good, and then you're gonna get a drill bit that fits this, and you're gonna take it right off, or just manually do it, but that'll take you about a lifetime. So yeah, that is how you use this tool. Let's get into actually putting the Rivnuts in. So we're gonna be breaking each wall into 3 different levels. So level 1 is down here, level 2 right here, and then level 3 for the top row. My dad just got this Rivetnut kit, so we have a whole bunch of different ones. Blue tape is where we're gonna be putting the Rivnuts. I didn't put it here, but we're actually gonna put one in this tie down, which is an M8 bolt. These are also M8s, M5, M5, and then also M5, 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 and M8, M5, M5. All right, so for the back end of the van, we are actually going to be using these hex Rivnuts. So these Rivnuts will fit perfectly into the grooves of the back of the van. So the way the Rivnuts actually go into the van is when you put it in there, I'm just going to show you what it looks like. So when you squeeze down on it, it bends, conforms to the hole of the van.
The pre-existing hole.
The pre-existing hole. That's what it looks like close up. Out. So once you've got your horizontal boards cut, you are going to measure, which I will give you the measurements for each level right now. So level 1 is this, level 2 is this, and level 3 is this. So obviously I already have mine on, but right now I'm going to show you the method we used to line up our holes to get the most precise holes for our Rivnuts. All right, so now that we have this board cut to the bottom section and it fits just right, we are gonna take the Play-Doh that we got from our neighbors and we're going to apply it where we think each Rivnut will go on the board. So now you're gonna rip off little pieces of the Play-Doh and you're gonna put it in the general area where you think the Rivnut will go. So like for this one, oh, there's actually not a Rivnut there. Right. So you're gonna put it, yeah, at the top of the board. All right, so when you flip this board up, it should match up right up with that, and it'll leave a little indent in the Play-Doh. So that'll be where you drill your hole, or where you mark to drill your hole. You're gonna do it for all the Rivnuts that you place. We have 4 right here. So now that all the Play-Doh is on there, we are now going to put it up and press it against there. So you're gonna want the bottom of the board right here to go with this groove with the van. Now he's pressing it up against it, so it leaves an indent in it. All right, so now that each spot has the nipple showing, we have exactly where we're going to make our mark. And also don't forget to mark where all of your boards are going. So now we're gonna poke a little nail right through that nipple. We're doing pilot holes for where all of the bolts are gonna go. And we are doing it on this piece of 2x4 so that there is no wood splitting beneath. And now moving on to the rear side, so now we have all these. Also, if you're doing this R method, you don't have to countersink the first level and the second level, but the third level, you're gonna wanna countersink these ones. So we still need to do these, but this is what it looks like done on this side. So ignore that picture, by the way. This is our boy who's helping us out right now with our bed bump outs. So I don't know if you're doing bed bump outs, but if you are, like us, you're gonna wanna get a 4 1/4 wide board instead of 3 inches like normal. And you're going to wanna install that on this one. This one can still be 3 inches, but for that one, we're doing 4 1/4. And we have our bottom one right there. This guy's really small, but the measurement is this, and this measurement is this, and the top one is this. And coming around to this side, we are doing the exact same thing. And if you're curious how we're making these bed bump outs so we get extra bed space, I will show you how to do that in another video. Also forgot to mention, we also have this little guy. You're probably like, what the hell is that? This is also to compensate for not being able to put a furring strip like that right here. So we are going, because we're actually out of Rivnuts right now. But so we have one Rivnut there holding this board in, and then we're gonna take one of these boards and do a vertical like that. So it has something to attach to, so it all will sit flush. And like that one, it's the same thing on the other side. There's no specific size for this, just as long as your board can touch it, and you're definitely gonna wanna countersink that one. And yep, we have this one countersinked. You don't need to do it on these ones, but we did it anyway. Now moving on to our verticals. So here is the size of the boards. They are all the exact same. So the dimensions for this is, and you're gonna do that all across the van if you're doing the same as us. All right, so this is our layout for our vertical furring strips. As you can see, we have 2 here and 1 there, 1 there and 2 here. So you're probably wondering, why haven't we installed these yet? We're actually going to do low E. So if you don't know what that is, I'll pop it up right here. It's a reflectant. So we're going to put that on and then install these. I will show you guys how to install low E. Alright guys, so I guess I didn't film it, or I can't find the footage, but I already put this up, so I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of how I did the walls. So I started off the low E by shoving it back behind this little plastic piece here. So I started the low E here, and then you start to unravel it. And as you start unraveling it, you're going to want to start putting in your furring strips. So pop in your pocket holes, and I put 2 number 8 3/4 inch wood screws into the bottoms of these. So once you start it back here, you're going to want to put some of this low E seam tape across it just to hold it in place. Once you unravel it a little bit, you're going to start putting up these furring strips. So the ones you just put in temporarily, you're going to take these out, and then you're going to put these right back on top of it. For me, what made this easier was poking a hole in the low E, kind of where I thought it was going to be, and then I'd fasten it down for its final time, and I did that across the whole thing. So we've got 2 3/4 wood screws right there, 2 right there, and then we got 2 pocket holes going in and holding that in. So here's a little time lapse that I made on my phone.